Okay, welcome to Kingdom Lum Small Town Underground. Good evening, everybody. I'm trying to get this out and shared to some of the groups. 2 minutes isn't quite enough for a one-man show. Good evening. It's just me flying solo tonight. I'm going to try not to go off the rails as we talk about Trump and what is going on with his trial in New York. And you'll have to bear with me for just a second here as I set everything up. Trying to get all of my sources. Just do want to take a quick shout out to everybody who is been hanging out with me through this journey that we're doing. I couldn't be more grateful. I am like at 994 followers, which is absolutely insane to me, that I'm picking up more and more. All I need is 6 more to get to 1,000. So if you know anybody that wants to be a part of the channel and would want to follow to get me up to 1,000, please share this. Let them know. I've got a goal here to get up to 1,000, which would be great. And Facebook makes it ever so much harder on me to do things. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I have to go in to Facebook every time that I do a live, and I have to go and choose public because it automatically presets the show to basically friends only. And then how crazy that this all is that if I'm on my phone, I can tag like the everyone at, but I cannot do it on my phone at followers. So I literally have to go in to the computer as I'm doing now, and I can hit the at followers. Isn't that crazy that I have to jump through all of these freaking hoops just to get this out? And so many people say, I never know when you're live. I can't ever seem to catch it. It's because you guys would not believe how hard it is, especially for a one-man show to do all this and try to get it out where at least it will send a notification. So I mean, it is what it is, right? But I'm trying. I figure out new things all the time about how to kind of game the system, if you will, how to do these things. But it takes time. That's why I do the intro. So I also want to say a special thank you to all those who are donating to my Give, Send, Go. I appreciate every single one of you that are donating. I want everybody to know that the money that gets donated goes back into the show. This is not personal income or things that I am collecting to try to make money or anything like that. Every bit, every red cent that goes into the donations goes right back into the show. And I expect to bring a whole lot more content. This summer, I've got some things written, a couple of small documentaries that I'm going to be filming outside of the scope of what we're doing here. And I'm super, super excited about it. And every bit of that money goes to the equipment and being on set and location, whatever, and getting everything that I need to continue bringing the content to you. So again, I appreciate it, and you can go to givesendgo.com/smalltownunderground. That is a way that you can fund me and the content that I bring out, and it's greatly appreciated. And as I stated, it's this is not a get-rich thing. This is completely for the show, so I really appreciate it. And to those who are taking the initiative and have the extra income to send my way, I appreciate it so much. You have no idea what I'm being enabled to do with this. So without further ado, I'm going to pause for just a second to talk about the Libertarian Party before we break down into Donald Trump, because that's going to be the main thesis here of tonight's show, and I'm trying to do it without getting completely irate. So let me find here. Right here, Politico, Libertarian. So let's just look at this for a minute, because, you know, I like the Libertarian platform. I used to really like it. I'm all a part of the Ron Paul Libertarian in the Fed, as you start out with rabbit holes, I've been into this kind of thing for a long time. An info warrior. I've been art back in the Art Bell days. George Norrie, all of these things. I've always been kind of out there climbing into rabbit holes for a long time, and well before politics. And Ron Paul was an inspiration to me, and he was instrumental in so many of our lives, and kind of waking people up. And he was sort of the start, if you will, during our technological age of realizing that things are not what they seem, right? And understanding that there's absolutely nothing federal about the Federal Reserve and our monetary systems, and how far we have come from then, and with the advent of the internet and connection, and realizing that so many things that were sold to us over the years was a complete lie. Case in point being the Vietnam War, for example. The Gulf of Tonkin was a created incident. It was a solution. It was for the problem of not going to war. Right. Our government staged the Gulf of Tonkin to officially bring us into the Vietnam War. And we lost 54,000 people, Americans, in that war, and accomplished nothing, really. So when we understand that we are being sold all these false bills of goods, and of course, no need to talk about COVID and all of these things we've been living through in the last few years, you realize that nothing really is what it seems. So the Libertarian Party, man, they have fallen. They have fallen. I realized that I was a lino, a libertarian in name only, because before I had taken the time to study the Libertarian Party, and because I think that in general they have really good ideas. I'm kind of one of these people. As long as you're not hurting a child or an animal, do as you wish, right? But we understand as you kind of mature, that we have to have the rule of law. We have to have law and order. We have to have things set in place. And that all goes in more line of a smaller government, like a Republican platform, Republican principles. When you realize that there is no debate in abortion, that abortion should be completely illegal. You realize that the Democrat Party is the party of racism and oppression, all of these things. And libertarians, to me, sort of stand out as just a group of people. I guess they're sort of homeless, right? Because the battle is red and blue, but they went off the rails. They have went off the rails with this latest pick for their Chase Oliver. So I thought I would discuss that for a little bit, because there's so much more that we can unpack here. Libertarians pick, and this is from Politico, of course. Hard to find some of these articles that are not so heavily one-sided, but Libertarians pick Chase Oliver as presidential nominee. They selected former Georgia Senate candidate Chase Oliver as their presidential nominee on Sunday, spurning appeals for support over the weekend from both Donald Trump and Robert Kennedy. This selection of Oliver, who has described himself as armed and gay, and whose third-party candidacy helped force a runoff in the Georgia Senate race in 2022 against Raphael Warnock. So this is one of the people that were splitting the votes in Georgia, if you can believe that. But I have read some pretty wild stuff about this guy and where he really stands. So the Libertarian Party has been hijacked, of course, by socialism. Socialism has hijacked the Libertarian Party. These anti-fascist socialist policies are now come centerfold. Mainly, I would think because a lot of these idiotic liberal, far left people they can't stand the Democrat Party, and so they become politically homeless, and they find that some refuge in the Libertarian Party. But it's fallen, man. The Libertarian Party is toast after this. I mean, I give Donald Trump kudos for going to the Libertarian Party and speaking, knowing the outcome of pandering, if you will, to the Libertarian Party, because this is outside of the norm, and a lot of candidates wouldn't have even done that. And I believe everybody knew the outcome, but really, Donald Trump won by actually doing that, reaching across these party lines. But these guys are crazy. I mean, they completely snubbed him and Robert F. Kennedy. So this is all going to be in the favor of Donald Trump, and this is one reason why we're going to cover a lot of this tonight, is because all of these moves, none of this is coincidental. I mean, there's zero chance that Donald Trump could lose in November, right? This is why they're throwing everything that they got at him. But I'll read just a little bit more of this. Even as they rejected him, Libertarian Party members feared Kennedy's candidacy could do significant damage to their party, which typically receives around 1% or less of the national vote share, with Gary Johnson in 2016 being a notable exception, garnering more than 3%. I liked Gary Johnson. I follow a lot of Gary Johnson. The same way that I would say I like Robert F. Kennedy, although I would never vote for Robert F. Kennedy. He is way too out there for me, but I could sit down and have a conversation with Robert F. Kennedy. It's a little bit different, but this guy is bad news. They've pulled themselves back in time. I don't know what they're thinking, but this just goes to show you how these socialist, communist style, fascist people can just take over and ruin parties when we're at this point where they're electing this guy. I mean, and it's just going to cause a lot of libertarians to. Like fundamental libertarians, people that are critical thinking libertarians, they would be voting for Donald Trump. I mean, some people have already came out over Twitter and stated they're libertarians voting for Donald Trump. They can't put up with this. This is some crazy stuff. Now, I'm not going to focus on this guy tonight, but I've seen enough of content on him that he's bad news. He's bad news for the Libertarian Party. I don't know what you guys are smoking, but I'm glad that I did the research I did. The Republican Party is a much better fit for me, and I cannot just have anarchy and you cannot raise families and live in communities and just do whatever the crap that you want to do. And I think that they've fallen a long way down. So wanted to get that out of the way because the show's changed several times over the week, and I could not let that go untalked about. I mean, God, they're in peril. I mean, say what you will about any other party, they really went downhill. So what I want to start with tonight, that's gonna unfold, and what I want to say about Trump and things that are going on around me. Tim Pool's been hitting it out of the park. As you know, he had Donald Trump for about 17 minutes on his show. Trump has really been making the rounds, really reaching out all across and everywhere, and getting his message out. But Tim Pool's been following it closely. If you don't subscribe to Tim Pool, you should. He's great content. I mean, dude is just on fire. And so I've been watching his stuff. I watch it nearly daily, on the ways to work and everything. So I like a lot of his smaller ones. I don't watch his live streams so much as just how he his small news snippets. And a lot of times we're right there neck and neck on the same kind of things, but I couldn't do the justice that he could do with how he's reporting on some of these things. So I wanted to start with this because this is what I watched on the way to the studio before I got here this evening, because I've been trying to keep up with this stupid sham of a case that's going on with Donald Trump in New York with Alvin Bragg and these idiots. I mean, this clown show idiots that we're having to witness, like the craziest kangaroo court I've ever seen in my life. And not being able to talk about a lot of it because we're trying to be good, trying to get through the primaries. We're past all that. But I couldn't do it justice again. So literally as I'm watching this, these are the things that were going through my head, thinking about it as I was reading. So I wanted to share a little bit of his a snippet here so that I can kind of set it up. All right, so here we go.
The judge has given the instructions to the jury. They have begun deliberating. And in the instructions, the judge has rigged the trial against Donald Trump. The judge actually instructed the jury that they do not need to be unanimous in their decision as to the crime Trump committed in order to convict him of falsifying business records. I can't believe it. In this morning's special live segment, we talked about how in the closing arguments, the prosecution said, you don't need to agree that Trump committed the same crime. You can all disagree on the crime he committed so long as you all agree he did commit a crime. What does that mean? Well, it means that the jury could go back behind the scenes and say, I don't think Trump committed any kind of campaign violation. Another juror can say, I don't think he committed a tax violation. The other individual can say, I don't think he committed any of these violations. I think he was jaywalking or something. They said each of the jurors could disagree on the crime they think Trump may or may not have committed, but so long as they all agree a crime was committed, Trump is guilty. You realize? And the judge gave instructions saying exactly that. What does that mean? Welcome to the nightmare dystopia, my friends. The state of New York is now saying if they decide to bring a crime that has any kind of underlying attachment, the jury need not actually agree that you committed any of these crimes so long as they agree a crime in general was committed somewhere. That's right. Donald Trump will be convicted in one criminal court case of different crimes of varying issue so long as they agree at Trump at some point. I can't believe it. Now, okay. I've been saying for...
Okay, I'll stop there for a minute. So this is kind of where I want to set this up. I've been watching and following as much as I can today, having to work and going through. So I want you to kind of listen to what he's saying. So the judge in this case, let me pull that up. It's basically saying that the jury, it does not matter how the jury decides to weigh in on this case, right? It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that the judge can find him guilty. Basically, they're giving him a set of like 3 different categories of crimes. And as long as they can agree that Trump committed a crime, then he's going to be guilty. This is insanity. This is complete, utter, total insanity how they've set this up. Now, a lot of people have been banking on an acquittal, right? Because if you've been following this case in the least amount, you understand that there's a smorgasbord of crap that they're trying to pin this man under. The Stormy Daniels, the payoff, they took, was it Michael Cohen out of prison to come out, which they found out that he was stealing thousands upon thousands of dollars. They don't even know how many, whether it was $60,000, $30,000, $150,000, but that every bit of this was set up. Trump didn't really know what was going on. They've ran these cases about how he was inflating his square footage of his places in order to get business loans. I mean, this whole thing is a complete 100% sham of a case. And even when you have CNN, fake lamestream media news that are having to admit that not only is this case not strong, but that the prosecution has not even been able to convince, all right, anybody of any real wrongdoing here in any of these things. You have this judge that comes out and basically says, you know what, jury, well, I don't care how you vote. I don't care how you what you come up with. He's guilty, and you're going to have to pick what guilty he is. I mean, this is the same type of stuff they've done with Alex Jones, and, well, a little bit different, but I mean, this is like we're in territory here that we've never actually seen before, okay? Like we've never seen this kind of thing before. And I'm trying to find this idiot's name. It's Mershon, this judge. I had a picture of him. But this is some really, really crazy stuff that we are seeing happen right now. Basically, it doesn't. Oh, there it is right here. So this Nick Sorter was somebody that Tim had shared. So I decided to follow him this evening because this is basically a little bit of a breakdown. And this was about 10 hours ago. So Nick Sorter on X tweeted, just in, Judge Mershon has told the jury they do not need unanimity to convict. All right. This means, let me bring this up. 4 jurors could agree on the first crime, falsifying records. 4 on the second, tax violations. 4 on the third, federal election violations. And Mershon would still count that as a unanimous guilty verdict from the 12-member jury. What the hell is this BS the fix is in? So I want you to kind of take this into like your thought process here. Like, understand that they have released a smorgasbord of charges, and the judge is instructing the jury. They're actually instructing the jury that as long as everybody agrees that at least one crime was committed, that would be count as a unanimous guilty verdict. I mean, this is insane. It doesn't matter what the defense says. It doesn't matter what the prosecution says. The judge is like, look, we're going to find this man guilty. And I mean, I'm beside myself. Like, I'm pissed off beyond belief that we, I've worked in the justice system for 24 years. I've been on both sides. I've been on the side where I've had to sit there and I get people out of jail that, literally tell me, oh, it was my house and I was asleep. I didn't know that they were cooking meth in my house. I've been on the other side of it where on the law enforcement side, I've never in my life seen this kind of like just disregard for the justice system that we see here today. I mean, they are literally throwing everything they can at this man. And it's insane to me to just think about like they're doing everything completely possible, taking every bit of power away from any person, any way that the outcome could be different than a guilty verdict. It's insane. And that is the can opener judge, the picture of him that is overseeing this case, along with the DA, Alvin Bragg. These people are crazy. New York absolutely is a cesspool of just a cesspool of people. It's crazy. And it's like, it doesn't even matter that you can see what's really going on. They don't give a crap. They don't care that you understand that this is fake. This is a sham. Jury deliberations now underway in New York. Of course, I thought maybe they might have a verdict by this evening, but they've already adjourned. And this is funny. These could go on for hours, days, or even a week. Trump is required to stay at the courthouse while the jury deliberates. This is insanity, man. Now, this is one, we can play this really quick because I thought this was pretty fitting for... there's a lot of truth to this statement here.
So could not beat these charges.
Here we go. Let's listen to this.
Mother Teresa could not beat these charges. These charges are rigged. The whole thing is rigged. The whole country's a mess between the borders and fake elections. And you have a trial like this where the judge is so conflicted he can't breathe. He's got to do his job. And it's not for me, that I can tell you. It's a disgrace. And I mean that. Mother Teresa could not beat those charges, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how we do.
It is a disgrace. This is an absolute disgrace that we're in a complete mockery of an American system here. Our whole society, our whole institution, our whole government is a complete mockery at this point. The hatred. And it can only be summed up to one thing, guys. It can only be summed up to one thing. The people that oppose Donald Trump and America First policies, people like you and myself, people that care about society and babies and care about communities and family and God, it can only mean one thing. And this is the bottom, this is the meat and potatoes, is that they do not want to fix the system, okay? They want to burn it all down. They want to eradicate what we have in place, and they think that they have a better system. Okay, these people don't want things to be fixed. They don't want to elect good people. They don't want to They don't want to get rid of the institutions and the corporations that have become corrupted. They literally want to destroy this nation, okay? If you are a Democrat, if you vote Democrat, if you are on the Democrat ticket, you want to destroy this country. That's all there is to it. And there's no hiding it. If you can claim that you can still be a Democrat, there are no such thing as the old school Democrats any longer. At least some of the libertarians have come to their senses and said, we've got to get away from this. This is insane. But I'm not even, I mean, I'm in my 40s, but like growing up in all this stuff and never really wanting to get into politics, I can't believe that we're to this point. I honestly can't believe that the nuclear weapon hasn't went off in this country, right? Or anywhere in the world at this moment with so much crap going on. But to see the systematic destruction of this nation, where we're at with Joe Biden, for God's sakes, where we're at with these sham trials. And I'm going to get to Georgia in a minute. So if you're sticking around, you're going to get some good stuff about Georgia, because this is going to tie this in. But this is absolutely insane what we're having to go through and listen. If you were keeping up with the trial during the Stormy Daniels thing, and you understand that she was involved in witchcraft and all this crazy stuff, and we're seeing ghosts. I mean, how do you take any of these people seriously in the first place? And the fact that if we'll go on the Mar-a-Lago raids here shortly, right? Because I know a lot of this is stuff y'all have already seen. But how on earth are you supposed to trust these people when you've got Cohen there that would literally just telling you, had to admit in a courtroom that he was the one the fixer. He fixed all these things. And he's the one that took the money, and he's the one that doubled the money and stole a bunch of stuff. I mean, these people are insane, and this is what the media and our justice system are propping up, because they cannot stand Donald Trump. And furthermore, it's not even about Trump. It's about they cannot stand a prospering America. They want to dismantle this system, and they're doing everything in their power that they can to dismantle it. And it's just so wild and bizarre to me that we are living in this in real time, where a judge can come out and he can instruct the jury that, look, it really doesn't matter what you do, as long as you pick a crime, pick 1 out of 50, right? What's the old saying goes? Show me the man and I will show you the crime, right? Mother Teresa could not withstand what the persecution that is happening here. And it's insane to me. I swear it's insane to me. It really makes me mad. I mean, it should make you mad too, because this rings in all of the things that are true about what Trump says. They're not after me, they're after you. They're after us. They're after us, and by God, they're coming, you know. So don't be asleep at the wheel. But I'll cover this real quick from Newsweek. The acquittal now unlikely. Former prosecutors. It's unlikely that Donald Trump will be acquitted in his hush money case, which everybody knew is not really a hush money case. A former federal prosecutor said. Niyama Ramani, now president of the firm West Coast Trial Lawyers in Los Angeles, commented on the former president's chance of acquittal as the jury prepared to enter deliberations. Notice that most of these articles, and I read through this article, they're leaving out the stipulations that the judge gave the jury, okay? They're leaving that part out. They're not telling people, the dumb, uninformed people that don't have a clue on what's really, the Robert De Niro's of the world, right? The Robert De Niro's of the world that have no clue what in the hell is going on. They're leaving all this out. They're not really telling people that the judge told them, say, hey, I don't care if you pick one crime and you pick the other crime. As long as we get a pick of a crime, he is guilty, right? They just leave that out here. Trump was indicted in March 2023 following the investigation by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office on 34 counts of falsifying business records related to hush money paid to adult film star Stormy Daniels by Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer at the time. So they even admit that Michael Cohen was the one that paid. It's ridiculous. And I don't know if you've heard the recording, but the recording pretty much Michael Cohen, he kind of gives it up there. He's going to take care of it. I mean, this is such a sham case. It doesn't even make sense. But this is just some wild stuff if you're keeping up with it, And here we are now. The jury is deliberating, but the judge is not going to allow the jury to get off the hook. It's insane to me. So, all right, we got some good comments coming in. Good. So let me see here. I did that one. That was a Newsweek article we just covered. So let's go through the real quick. Trump classified documents. So this is from the AP. Well, let me cover this one first. So this is from the Associated Press. So let's go back and talk about Mar-a-Lago for a minute. Fact focus, Trump distorts use of deadly force language in FBI document for Mar-a-Lago search. Now, there's a couple key takeaways from this this article that I wanted to cover. So it says former President Donald Trump pointed to a standard language in an unsealed FBI document to baselessly claim that the Biden administration wanted to kill him during a search of Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach. So, of course, this is a slanted article, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that for absolute fact I know 100%. I know the language was in there, but what I have seen is none of this is standard protocol. The way they went about it, the way that they came unmarked cars, plain clothes, as far as I can tell, they were looking for a fight, and I'll show you how I come to this conclusion. So, of course, this was the tweet. Wow, I just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial in Manhattan, the icebox, and was shown reports that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago authorized the FBI to use deadly lethal force, Trump wrote in a post. Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. And he's a mentally unfit for office, of course. The claim was also boosted online by his supporters. But the language Trump referenced is a standard policy statement used for issuing search warrants and was not unique to FBI's search of his property. It's actually meant to limit. So there's the claim. Here's the facts. And let's see if I can find... There was something in here... Anyway, it was talking about the how the Mar-a-Lago. Let's see here. Anyway, it was all about how they went in, and they were claiming that he was holding on to these classified documents as if he were trying to hide them. I can't find it right now. It's right here somewhere. Let's see. And of course, it does. I'm sure that they require a use of deadly force thing in all of these documents, but I'm telling you, there's something crazy here. But this is, like I said, how I came to the conclusion was very, very simple. They try to paint these articles like nobody knew that he had classified documents behind lock and key in Mar-a-Lago. Everybody knew that he had classified documents. There was no secret. They tried to make this a huge thing like he was hiding documents, and we all know that was false. Everybody knew, and he was working with the Department of Justice. He was working with the FBI on these classified documents, and then they went in, and of course they did the daylight raid and all this stuff, and obviously they were there wanting to pick a fight. I mean, it's not unthinkable that they were. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? All of this stuff was painted up to be something that much bigger than it ever really was. And of course, that's calmed down quite a bit just for the simple fact that they went and found classified documents in Joe Biden's garage next to his stupid Corvette, and he wasn't even president at the time. And so, it's this Saul Alinsky rules for radicals where you project the things that you're doing onto your opponents, and you, if you tell a lie long enough, it becomes a truth, right? So undoubtedly, they were there looking for a fight. But let's talk about a little bit of truth, shall we? So where are we with the fact that the Ashley Biden diary is real? And looks like I might be starting to lag a little bit. But let's look at this. So, Ashley Biden diary. Patrick Howley, National Filer, featured in Marco Polo's report on the Biden laptop. Why I broke the Ashley Biden diary case. So, there's no secret anymore to any of this that the Ashley Biden diary is real. You remember how the media tried to paint that this was completely fake, and that they prosecuted the people that were selling the diary. Now Snopes has had to completely admit that the diary is true. Why did they do that? Because Ashley Biden admitted that the diary was true. So now we are going to assume that everything that Ashley Biden wrote in her diary is true. And if it is true, then we have some serious issues with the President of the United States of America. Now, where is the trial for this? Where are the lawyers, and where are the people that are going to bring this to light and prosecute these people that are actually committing crimes, especially crimes against children? Where is the outrage here? How are we not outraged that we've had to wait all this time? You go back and look at COVID. You look at so many things in our life that we were gaslit. Had to, the injections, the MNRA, the Wuhan lab, Ashley Biden's diary, the Hunter Biden laptop. All of this stuff is out there. It is confirmed. There's no secret to any of these things. Yet here we are, the sham trial of Donald Trump in New York over nothing. People having to admit in a court of law that, yes, I was stealing money from Donald Trump. Yes, I was taking care of this. It's absolutely insane. Insane. When you talk about upside down world. I mean, I'm livid right now. And who knows how this jury is going to go. And the thing about it is the justice system is so weakened and so broken. All right? Our own federal Department of Justice are not going to intervene in any of this. So it doesn't even matter what the jury comes up with. They are going to try their damnedest to convict him over nothing. Over absolutely nothing. 34 felony counts. I mean, Jesus. And we all know that a lot of these counts have already been dropped because they had separate prosecutors looking at this stuff going, there's no merit here. There's no merit. It is insane. Our justice system is broken. And if we continue as a citizens to let these things go through unchallenged, I mean, you might as well kiss the justice system completely goodbye in this nation, because if they can do this to a president, they can do it to you just as quickly as anything. And I urge each one of you, I will post the link to that Timcast episode, because I'm not trying to piggyback off of the information, but sitting there listening to it on the way, forming what I'm going to say, and it's like the dude's talking verbatim, and of course he's got his ducks in a row more than I do. But I'm telling you, it's worth a watch he can break it down. So who knows how long that this jury is going to deliberate over all of this crap. But this is Jerry Springer level episodes going on in our nation right now, been going on for a while, and the wonders never cease to amaze. And all I can say is that, I mean, there's no such thing as a coincidence. This is a complete dismantling of our nation, folks. They do not want to fix America. They don't want to fix any of this. They want to burn it all down. This is why they don't want Donald Trump. This is why they don't want people that they cannot control in positions of power, because everything has to be controlled all the time, and it is absolutely insane. And this is the world you're living in. And sometimes you just got to step back because we just went through a primary. So let's talk about Georgia for a minute. We just went through a primary, and low voter turnout, man. I'm talking about in some of these races, there's like a couple hundred people going to determine who was going to represent you next year. We had a lot of people that ran for office, people that were well aware of accountability and transparency and the dangers we face in our political systems that were completely overlooked by incumbents. Incumbents, the same people that we gripe about every single day, the same people that we're constantly at war with, trying to get the simplest forms of legislation passed, right? The simplest things, the most common sense things passed. We're at war with these people. And we voted them back in. The vast majority of them. Now, we had a few. We had a few wins. We had a few good people that broke through the mold. But for the most part, and I'm not talking about down to the absolute local, I was shocked at some of ours. Doesn't mean it's a good thing or a bad thing. But where are the people? And so many people I talked to said, it's just not worth going and voting. And I'm like, guys, you guys don't understand. Like, if you can sit back and watch these sham trials and you can just not go vote and not get involved in some way or another where you can vote your conscience, like, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think? You think you're going to come out of this unscathed? I mean, and I don't want to sit here and just be negative, because what the Libertarian Party has done is bolster Donald Trump. If Donald Trump is convicted, okay, it's going to bolster more support, because the emperor has no clothes. They are revealing themselves. And obviously these people know that they're in the middle of these lies, right? Because they're so uncomfortable and they get so emotional, the judges and the prosecutors, because they understand that they're everything they're doing is based on a lie. Fani Willis is completely based on a lie. Everything that the woman's doing, and we've already went through in this state a removal process to try to get her removed because of the crap that she's done, and she's still there. She's still there. It's really, really mind-boggling to me that more people aren't upset about this, that we aren't screaming from the hilltops. Colton Moore was 110% right to have Governor Kemp create a special session to remove Fani Willis and get rid of this shit show sham case in Atlanta. And mark my words, it's May 29th. We're past the primary and the case is still there. Yeah, we got great news. Well, this case won't be tried this year. This is a waste of your money and my money that it's even allowed to stand in this state. The people that are being persecuted along with Trump in Atlanta, it's absolutely asinine to me that our government, our Republican government in this state has not done more, has not sounded the alarms and done something else with this case, which, like I said, goes to show you. I don't understand it, folks. I cannot understand how we have this much idiocracy around us, and it's not meant for us to understand, but it's nerve-wracking to sit here and go through this. I mean, this makes OJ case look like nothing back in the day. So let me think here real quick before I go into the last part of this. So we covered Ashley Biden. We've covered the deadly force. We're just covering so many of these things that are completely sham. Now, I did do a zero hedge report here that we can look into a little bit real quick before we jump off of this, because you're going to get a little bit more of the truth, outside of the mainstream media. I mean, that's just a given. That's Bible. You can take it for what it's worth. This is insanity. Judge in Trump case issues unbelievable jury instructions. See, they will not cover this through the CNN articles and the political articles. Okay, they won't. This is from Zero Hedge. Legal minds are beside themselves at how the judge in the Trump hush money case has instructed jurors to rule. First, in what unconstitutional law Professor Jonathan Turley called the coup de grace instructions. Judge Juan Merchan said that there is no need to agree on what occurred and can disagree on what the crime was among the charges. I mean, this means that they could split 4-4-4 and he will still treat them as unanimous. I mean, it's insanity to me that we are here at this time and they are literally bending the rules, breaking the rules however they want to do. So, God have mercy. It's something. It's a sight to be seen, y'all. We should be upset about this. We should be understanding that we're one stone's throw away from where they want to persecute us. You know how much I talk about the digital future and how we are all being wrangled into this digital form of slavery, and it's every bit as real. And it moves right along while we watch the bread and circus of these sham trials. But I have to pick on my state for a minute because I cannot understand how we have Republican House and a Republican Senate, and we have not completely squashed the BS that is going on in this state. So my GOP tells me that it is the top priority. It is our top priority to elect Donald Trump, right? Why are we not holding our folks more accountable to get rid of the sludge in this state, get rid of the Fani Willis? We've got people that are actively trying, have actively been trying for months to get rid of these things, and they have been overlooked. And I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. Okay? Why would they not end this trial? Why haven't we demanded that our governor call for a special session to get rid of the Fani Willis case? Is it not enough, I guess, that we just moved the case. They can't go along with the case till 2025. That makes no sense to me. Why are we seeing such a push in this state to silence our election integrity movement? Okay? Why? I don't understand. It seems to me in this state that there is its own coup d'etat that's coming around, okay? Where people are being silenced that are speaking the loudest, that people are being silenced all around. The people that are not handpicked by the majority of whatever you want to call it are the ones being persecuted over and over and over again. And I'm not saying names, and I'm not implying anybody. I'm not talking about anything in specific. But I don't understand how we can go through a Raffensperger curling case, how we can go through an election board commission where Ed Lindsay gets removed. We find thousands upon thousands upon thousands of ballots that are on paper prove the election integrity issues that so many of us were talking about, that so many people uncovered, and it is being completely overlooked. But the directive is our top priority must be to elect Donald Trump as President of the United States of America. How am I supposed to even take that seriously when we cannot even convene in a special session in this state to rid ourselves of a taxpayer-funded sham of a circus trial that will end up going on after the sham of the circus trial that we're looking at now, after the sham of a civil trial? How is this even possible that we're here? But we have not moved the needle hardly at all. And we are commending our government, our state government, for throwing us a couple of bones. Here you go. I've signed this little thing for you. Here you go. Now, it won't take effect till 2026. It's not going to take effect for a while. We can't do anything to change anything right now. We're just going to have to stick with the same old, the good old, the same systems. What did I tell you guys a year ago? People got mad at me a year ago when I told them, I said, we will still be on the Dominion voting systems in Georgia, November 2024. No. We're going to get this done. We're going to do this. We're going to get this done. Blah, blah. Nope. I don't want to hear it. We're still going to be on the Dominion voting systems. We just went through the primary. It doesn't even matter anymore at this point. It's kicking the can down the road. It doesn't matter when the truth comes, or if the truth comes out. It's when the truth comes out. Don't even get me started on COVID, man. I don't want to get kicked off of here, but my God, if you just look at where we're at now, we would have never been this far had we not had people like Garland Favorito, Georgia for Truth, Paper Please, all these movements of people that were not buying what they were selling to us. If it hadn't been for these people. Now, where is everybody else in on this? Because all I see, and I am an outsider, I am somebody who's not running for office. I am not going to campaign for myself. I am not bought and paid for. The only thing that I mean, like, nobody is controlling me here. So I can take my emotion and throw it off to the side and look at it from outside of myself. And I'm going to tell you what I see. I see things going on behind the scenes that I'm not too sure about. I see deals being made. I see coordinated attacks. I see all of these things going on. And when you put all of the pieces together, it does not look good. So where are we really? Where are we really in this state? Are we really trying to elect Donald Trump in Georgia? Are we really that steadfast behind him, or is this some kind of a crap show, just to buy the people over? Is this just some sort of, well, I'll sign this for you now, and it won't take an effect for a couple years, but it's down the books, The biggest letdown to me ever, and when I started getting involved with all of this stuff, was after the 2020 election. Our Republican constituents in Atlanta were so excited and happy because they came out with this huge election reform by my ex-Senator Jeff Mullis was one of the leaders of this, touting these wonderful election reform things. We're going to stop this dead in our tracks. Here we go. We have fixed the elections in Georgia. You just don't worry about anything. Here's your thumbs up. We're all good. And when I read the legislation, I couldn't believe. I was naive because I didn't look into a lot of it. I've always voted. I couldn't believe at what I read. And I was like, how was any of this that they passed in this bill? And you guys probably, somebody out there knows what I'm talking about, the bill number. How was this not already election law in the state of Georgia? That was my question. You're happy about this? You're telling me you fixed the election in Georgia when every single bit of what was in that bill after the fact should have already been there. It should have already been law and been followed to a T. I mean, and people were so excited. Well, you got to give credit. Credit my ass. I'm sorry, but God. I mean, we're living in a facade here. And here we are in May, and yes, the primaries have happened, and low voter turnout. And sure, I'm going to throw a dog a bone a little bit because sure, I've heard people talk, yes, well, what's the point in voting anymore? It doesn't count this and that and the other. I get it. I really do get it. I felt the same way myself. I have emotions like anybody else. I have thought about wanting to give up and stop voting. But you can't. You cannot throw in the towel. We have to fight them with everything we got. And I felt like we had a strong message for primary. I felt like we were going above and beyond. But people didn't show out. They didn't want to show out. And people just don't seem to care too much. I don't know if it's because we've become compartmentalized or maybe because, there's no coincidences here. The food, the economy, your job, going to a grocery store, one bag of groceries is $100. I mean, come on, man. All this stuff's hitting us at once, and they told us, those who want to dismantle this world, dismantle this system, dismantle our country, have already told us, we are going to hit you hard. So I understand. I understand how stressful things are. People are losing their jobs. Money doesn't go near as far as it did before. And we live again in what Marjorie Taylor Greene coined the conservative fantasy land in this area where we can still leave, I've said it 100 times, we can still leave our car doors unlocked and go out the next morning, and 99% of the time our stuff is still there. We don't get affected like a lot of other places. But my God, man, you've got to wake up and realize what's going on here. You know, where is our representation on this? Why haven't we shut Fonnie Willis down in Atlanta in Fulton County? Why are we not focusing on all of the findings and all of the integrity issues that the elections had? This, when we look to the past, we can see where our future lies. And right now, nothing has changed. Now, we've got some victories. Garland Favorito, he's going to be on the show. We're going to have an entire election integrity episode with Garland Favorito. And then I'm going to have my own separate election integrity episode with some other people. Okay? Now, none of this falls on deaf ears. None of this is in vain because we cannot stop. But I don't understand how these people can be so brazen and not truly want to fix things. And make things right. And it's questionable. And it seems that the ones that scream the loudest, the ones that are some of the most active, are the ones that are getting trampled on. And I'm also seeing that we're not ready for change. we're fine with the status quo. We're fine and dandy, and as long as we stay in our lane, we're okay. But if we ask too many questions, or we want knowledge on certain topics, all of a sudden you get a phone call, or you get questioned by somebody. Why are you worrying about this? Well, I'm just curious. I'm curious about everything, but I don't get my questions answered. So now I'm a little disgruntled right now, because I see so much that the grassroots, and I'm proud to be a part of the grassroots. Seems to me like that it's being systematically dismantled in ways. And the more that we can continue to argue and gripe and fight against each other down here, the more the establishment seems to win. Right? Because we all knew when we took over, when we started getting involved, right? The people that were not involved in the status quo, that once we took some power away, that the empire is going to strike back. And I feel like the empire is striking back. Now, of course, they're weakened. They didn't get everything they want. But I'm trying to figure out, like, what is the end game here? Because things are going on that I can't fathom. And in the midst of this, we live in a conservative fantasy land, and I'm watching New York and these sham trials, and knowing that Fulton County has got the exact same thing waiting like a baked lasagna in the oven, and nobody is doing anything about it. Like, what is our breaking point, people? Like, where do we need to go? Because this is insanity happening all around us, and it's meant to stress us out. It's meant to divide us. It's meant to do all these things. But when is enough enough? Where are the constitutional lawyers? Why do we not have a group of constitutional lawyers that are challenging this at every single level, going after these people, going after these sham trials? Why are we allowing a judge to manipulate a jury, no matter what the outcome is? This is insanity to me. So that's really all I have. I'm trying to keep it on the rails. I got a lot of good shows planned, but I'm just telling you, I don't like what I'm seeing right now. And what that means is I don't have to sit here and spell it out, and I don't have to start name calling, and because I'm not like that. All right, I want to build alliances with people. I want to build a network of people. All right, I can look past differences. We need to be more like that. I'm not talking about the word unity. I'm talking about we're generally on the same team. We need to stop with the knee-jerk reaction and focus on the truth. The truth will always set us free. Okay, and I don't like it sometimes when I seek truths or look into things. On one side, I can get a lot of information. On the other side, I get told to sit down and shut up. I get told to sit down and shut up. Don't worry about that. That's what really makes me mad. I'm not a person that can be controlled. I'm not a person that can easily be swayed. I want to focus on the truth of the matter. But this insanity that we have going all around us, I mean, if you're not upset now, Donald Trump could be going to jail. Yes, it could be. There's always light at the end of these tunnels. the moves he's making with the minority people, with Latinos and blacks and everybody, and going to the Libertarian Party, this is what he should be doing. He should be reaching that hand across the aisle because everybody knows that he's America first, and we are America first, right? That's where he should be doing. And no other candidates are doing this kind of thing. No other people are crossing these lines. And no matter what happens in New York, ultimately it's going to help. It already has. But this is total insanity. The persecution that he has endured, you would have thought that if somebody was that dirty, they would never, ever be able to survive this. But the swamp is very, very deep. And a lot of people are involved. And a lot of people their livelihoods are monetized through this. We could go and break stuff down in Georgia about monetization and where people get their paychecks from and the certain things and the certain ethos and the ideas that they must carry in order to keep that money flowing. And it's a sad state of affairs. It's a corporatocracy all around us. And people are being bought and paid for every single day. So I'm going to go and do comments, and then I'm going to shut my mouth. Lisa Adams, always good to see you. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go, Brandon. Joe Biden is a lunatic child sniffer. Ashley Biden diary is true. He should be buried in Guantanamo Bay prison, along with many, many others, sharing a jail cell with Fauci. Randall Jones, good to have you. Trump 2024. Yes, sir. We must stand fast. I don't care if he goes to prison. I don't care what's going to happen. I don't care what you say. I'm voting for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the only America First candidate that is willing to stick his neck out on the line for me, and the persecution proves everything. Georgia Patriot, good to have you. Howdy. And he says, Tim Pool's interview with Kash Patel was better than the Trump interview, and I want to agree with you. I got on the tail end of the Kash Patel, and it's something I need to go back and watch because I do think you were probably right about that. But anyway, nevertheless, if you didn't get to see it, it's worth it. Tim Pool, Timcast, man, I mean, I love the dude. He's spot on so much of the time. So. And he said, same episode, that is, Kash Patel was on right before Trump. Calvin Cochran, good to see you, my friend. Crooked DOJ judges. Crooked is the PG word for what I would like to express my anger on how corrupt that this judicial system is, and these judges that it's ungodly. It's ungodly that we are witnessing, like in real time, the destruction of the judicial system, and I'm at a loss for words, but that crooked is definitely for real. Georgia Patriot says this is a clear constitutional violation. All bias aside, the judge should be tried for treason. I 110% agree with that. It's as if the Constitution does not matter at all. Your constitutional rights don't matter. I guess they're wiping their butts with our Constitution and the rule of law, and it's happening in front of our very own eyes, and it gets more ludicrous as the days go. So it's insane. Lisa Adams, of course they are. Yes, the Georgia Patriot. The crime must be clearly laid out in the indictment. It was not. No, it was 4.5 hours to explain. So much so that the jury adjourned today had 4 different requests. 4 different requests today from this Judge Merchan, this Judge Jackass, to that they could not understand, that they needed more guidance. Okay, this is how crazy and ludicrous this case is. It was never clearly laid out. Never. I mean, when you have CNN, for God's sakes, admitting that none of this was clearly laid out. I mean, that's where the point where even the lamestream fake media is having to say this is insane. Now, of course, they're going to buy it hook, line, and sinker, right? But they've lost so much credibility. They have to tell the truth here. They're having to tell you that none of this makes sense. It was a weak case, and so many things have come out in Donald Trump's favor. So much to the point that the judge is telling the jury, really don't make a crap how they, how they, what their verdict is going to be. It's so criminal juries must be unanimous. You're 100% right, and not. And Georgia says, Patriot says, not to mention they are prosecuting a federal crime in a state court. Thank you very much. Yes, you know a lot about this case, and yes, there's so many things wrong here. So many things wrong. So Karen Cavender, good to have you this evening. She says it is not only insane, it's illegal. That's the crux of the point. It's illegal. And man, what we need constitutional sheriffs all over the place. We need people, the community. It's obvious that our government doesn't care about you. They don't care about you. Not very, very few of these people that are elected care about you, the people. They are wanting to dismantle everything around you. Okay? And we must have constitutional leadership from our commissioners to our probates, our judges. God, I mean, we did get a couple of wins. We've got several all across America. A lot of the George Soros-funded district attorneys have been booted out, thank God. Was going to cover that tonight, but didn't. But guess what? We do have a few wins, but that's why it's so important on a local level that the Constitution be followed to a T, and that you get people to represent you that represent the Constitution of America. That's plain and simple. Plain and simple. We cannot have these kangaroo courts going around everywhere. We cannot. Karen A. Cavender says, again, the injustice is absurd. It really is. It is emotional. It's gaslighting. It's not meant for people like you and me. It's not meant for us to understand. Okay, they know if they know how stupid and insane all this is. They sit in these back rooms. They all coordinate with each other. They know. They know that it makes no sense. They're banking on that. But the Operation Mockingbird media is in full compliance with them. They have strict rules, just like the idiot that does the press conferences, Karine Jean-Pierre. All these people are coordinated with their talking points, and it doesn't matter how stupid it looks. They probably laugh about it. I mean, if you've watched the James O'Keefe stuff, of course they're laughing about all this stuff when they're going out to their bars and they're picking up their dates and they're just willy-nilly telling them, oh yeah, we went after Donald Trump, we did it on purpose. Yeah, they don't give two craps. They're getting paid. They got their payday coming. So of course it's absurd, because it's not meant to make sense. It's meant to destroy. It's like a drug. When you get drunk, you do a bunch of drugs. It destroys brain cells. The idiocracy is meant to destroy your brain cells. Plain and simple. Mike Smith says, DJT, US, 100%. Absolutely. Jennifer Jones, Hilligus, good to have you this evening. It says, Tactical Civics will fix it with everyday Americans. Well, I certainly hope so. I hope that groups like Tactical Civics are growing. I hope that we have a growing number of people that are involved in common law and really just going after our judicial system to try to save it from what it's become, which is a mockery, an absolute mockery. So I say more the merrier. Let it come. Lisa Adams, there aren't enough paying attention yet. The SEB on May 7th, 2024 could have fixed this whole mess. Well, of course they could have. That goes back to my original point. They do not want to fix the mess. And even if some of them do want to fix the mess, they're either too scared, they're too cowardly, or they're bought and paid for and they can't do anything about it. Okay? Or they just are waiting until everything gets systematically destroyed. I mean, there's no other logical explanation than we must destroy what we have. Okay? They're complicit in this, okay? When you're slapping on the wrist, that's it. That's what you're going to do. Oh, we found thousands and thousands of votes have been destroyed. We found thousands and thousands of votes that were altered. We found thousands upon this and thousands upon that. Slap, hand slap. But you'll go to jail now. You'll be ridiculed. It's insane. Jennifer Jones Hilligus, we the people are the cure to our judicial system, and we the people have the power to drain the swamp and keep it drained. I agree. And there's a couple of different things that come to mind with that. And I'll tell you this, your version and my version may not be line up 100%. But my thing is how much more are we the people going to tolerate this? How much more are we going to tolerate this stuff before, or are we just going to let it just burst through our door and we're not ready for it? I don't know what the answer is. I know what my heart, my soul tells me, but it's things that we can't talk about here. Where is our breaking point? Because it seems like we're just getting more and more normalized by this. Karen Cavender says, I can't believe we are at this point. Neither can I. I can't. I still wrap my mind around it because I'm a person. I'm not a smart person. Never have been a smart person, but I've always had common sense, and I've always tried to follow logic and reason. Right? That's to me that the common sense, logic, reason, and I can hang out with the smart ones. I can hang out with the people who can teach me things. But at the end of the day, it's about putting your pants on. You put your pants on. Everybody's got to put one leg in and the other leg in, and there's no trick to it. You don't put your pants on, doing a handstand. Like, it's very simple and it's logical and it's reason that, and we're missing that. Okay. And I can't believe that they're trying to convince us that you should put your pants on while doing a handstand type stuff. This is where we're at. It's insanity to me. So yes, I know people will say I can believe it. I've seen it coming. But each day that goes by, I'm amazed that this world has not been completely blown up, Jennifer Hilligus, I will write Donald J. Trump on my ballot in November if I have to. Who is with me? 100%, I'm with you. There's no changing my mind. I will write him in absolutely, 100%. So, no question about it. Doesn't matter who, what. Until Jesus comes back, I will write Donald Trump in on the ballot. So, no matter what, it'll happen. Lisa Adams, this is why they want people to sit down and shut up. 100% right. People are still comfortable. They think that all this is going to blow over and that everything's going to go back to being hunky-dory. Let me tell you something. Ain't nothing going back hunky-dory. Ain't nothing going back hunky-dory. We have crossed the Rubicon. Nothing will be the same again. We're not even in November, and nobody's even convinced me that we're going to have an election in November. I'm still waiting on one person to convince me that we're going to have an election. Nope, it is not business as usual. Georgia Patriot, the Secret Service agents cannot be jailed with him. They are not felons. Trump cannot be jailed. If Merchan puts him on house arrest, the White House will move to New York in January. It's possible. I think in either way that he's going to be able to appeal this, so he will not go to jail right away. I, of course, am hoping, like anybody, that is a complete hung jury, because I believe all it takes is one or two to just say not guilty over all counts, and that will be a hung jury, and I don't think the judge can do anything about that as long as we have a couple of people that are willing to put their neck out on the line and say he's not guilty. Then you'll get a hung jury. The judge can't do anything. The judge has just basically handed them a golden corral and said, pick your poison. You just tell me what you want to convict him of, and we're going to get him. So we need a couple that have common sense, if there is such a thing, up there, and say, no, he's not guilty. This is a sham trial. I'm not going along with it. And that would be our best case scenario. So I doubt that'll happen, but I still don't see him going to jail. Jennifer Hilligus says, so many incumbents didn't have anyone running against them. And that's another truth, too. I don't think that our grassroots were ready to run that battle. I think that we're going to see a lot different the next go-around. So, yeah, I don't want people to think I'm being a negative Nancy on this stuff. I'm just saying, I don't think we were 100% prepared. But I did see some really strong people running for strong positions that I hope don't give up, because they can just build on what they've accomplished so far. But yeah, I think the next go around is going to be better. So Jennifer Hilligus, tacticalcivics.com. Join us, and together we will take back our country. So you can always check out tacticalcivics.com. Lisa Adams says, Team Colton Moore, all the way with Colton Moore. I'm going to get him back on the show sometime, next month or two. Whenever we got a little time, we'll just sit back and have a good chat. Colton's on fire. We need 50 more like him. We have a bunch of cowards under the Gold Dome who cowered down to the establishment, the corporatocracy that they have. They will not stand up on their principles, and Colton Moore absolutely does. So Karen Cavendish says total control. I agree. That's what they're going after, is total control. Lisa says almost all the links in the chain have been removed. That's true too. There's not a whole lot more that they can do at this point, because most of the spaghetti has fell off the wall. So even this, we know at the very least the Fani Willis case will not happen until next year. That's out of the way. Done on purpose, I believe. Backroom deals there just to prolong the idiocracy. But that is a win, because once we get past the stupid New York fiasco, right? Jennifer Jones-Hilligus, it is a uniparty. I can't agree more. It's still a uniparty, and to me, it just seems like the power and the corruption run deep through here. I don't like what I'm seeing. So on both sides, on every side that I'm seeing a lot of irrational, gaslighting, emotional situations that could easily be avoided just by sitting down and talking, and that doesn't happen, and it's kind of insane. So Jennifer says it's all by design to make us feel helpless, so we say there is nothing we can do. Firsthand, I can't agree more with you there, because that's what a lot of feedback I get. Why should I do this? Why should I do that? And I tell people the same thing. Well, why should I get up here and do this? Or why should I go to the meetings or do that? Because we have hope, and we are fighters. Our souls are fighters. And we cannot just sit on the sidelines and not be involved, because it's going to hit you in the face regardless. So you can call us crazy, you can think I'm insane for doing what I'm doing, but it is eventually going to make it to you if you don't take a stand. Look at the Libertarian Party. They are overrun by idiocracy. Georgia Patriot says, Lisa says, at least Ed Lindsay resigned. 100%. That had to be done, and glad to see it, and can't wait to dip into the episode all about the Election Board Commission. So, Georgia Patriot, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but do you think Mershon is being threatened if he doesn't get a guilty verdict? You know, I don't know at this point. Honestly, I don't know that if he's being threatened, or he's just, to me, he's willfully going along with it, right? I mean, you think about how crazy this case is. You think about how many holes are in this case, and how crappy that the prosecution has done in this case, to the fact that you've got lamestream media admitting on national television that this is a really sham case. You got Michael Cohen admitting that he stole hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I don't even know if it's just like he's just completely complicit. I think it's just the emotional hate. He hates it. He's part of this these groups of people wanting to destroy America. He's been put in there in place, and I don't think he will have any ramifications regardless, because he's doing whatever the hell he wants to do to make this happen. So I can't honestly, I don't think that he's being threatened. I just think he's so complicit in it that at this point it doesn't matter. You know, what is it going to be next week? They're going to drum up some more I mean, you know, so if this doesn't work, they're going to try that. If this doesn't work, they're going to try that. I mean, look what they did with COVID, for God's sake. They're going to try anything. Look what they're doing now with the avian bird flu all around us. You know, now I'm starting to see people wear masks again around. Oof, don't get me started. So who knows? Lisa said, we need more people showing up if they are able to. 100% we do. We really, really, really do. We need people to take it seriously. Jennifer Jones says, Hilligan says, it's not going to work in the end. Trump's lawyers will get discovery. Then the lawyers get to reveal the truth and will show irrefutable proof Trump won 2020. I certainly hope you're right, because the proof is all around us and it is being ignored, completely ignored. And now people are being shunned and told that they need to shut up and elect Donald Trump. So, which I agree with. But I don't agree with anybody shutting up, okay? I don't agree with anybody shutting up. She says, look at all the executive orders Trump signed have been extended by Biden. I just had this conversation yesterday, and what I will say about it is I hope that you and the ones that believe it, and I hope that it is 100%, still hold hope, because I'm always a person that will welcome any those points of view and those thinkings. I've heard some of it before. I study upon some of these rabbit holes, and I would be forever grateful that if we can all look back on this and just say, whew, wow, really was 5D chess. I want it to be. We'll see. Time will tell. Placate, placate, placate. Lisa Adams, absolutely 100%, 100%. Georgia Patriot says, sorry, brother, but Kemp is neck deep in the election problem. No way he will ever participate in the solution. You really think he's legit got 75% of the primary? No way. No, and I will leave my comments a bit vague on that because I do agree with you 100%. But I believe that there is a grander plan at play here. And I don't think I'm ready to admit it over the airwaves and create controversy. But let's just say you keep your eyes open and you watch everybody and everything that's going on. And one of these days, it might make a whole lot of sense that there's a plan in place to, I guess, to get back in the fold, if you will. So we'll see. Lisa says a whole bunch of amazing people. Absolutely. Jennifer Hilligus, none of the establishment rhino traders will not do anything because they will be threatened. Did you know Raffensperger's son died in 2018? I think his death is a wake-up call. I do know that. And yeah, there's so many things you can go back and look in these situations. And the fact that Raffensperger is non-existent right now and anything can't be reached. I know you guys have probably seen there was an election glitch with the Jarvis system. I planned to cover that tonight. Didn't get to it. I'm already way past. But, yes, of course these people are compromised. Of course. Go back to the Carrie Lake thing. Go back to the Carrie Lake recording where folks back east were willing to pay her insanely large sums of money if she would just sit out the race. And of course we know this. I don't know why we dance around it like these people are not compromised. Of course they're compromised. When you get in these positions, you become accountable to somebody. You become compromised. It's insane. Oh, XXL Dude, I'm glad you made it, my brother. You guys need to go check out his channel, XXL Dude on YouTube. It's a wonderful channel. Some new content just came up. Says, I'm late to the party, but seems like Biden camp already knows something about the verdict before the jury makes it. Yep, I had planned to talk about that really weak press conference they did with Robert De Niro. Such a shame that Robert De Niro is such a freaking idiot, you know? I mean, good actor, method actor, say what you will, but he's a freaking lunatic and he's an idiot. And I love watching him get heckled yesterday and talking about, you are the gangsters, you are the gangsters. That was so funny to me. And, of course, the memes that are going to come out of that. But, sure, they may already know something. Of course. Of course. This is a coordinated effort, coordinated attack, right? Georgia Patriot Perspective. Had Trump won in 2020, we still wouldn't know a lot of the truth we found since then. Biden's regime is the reason we all kept digging. That is the comment of the night, because so many conversations I've had in the last few weeks were learning the peace and discernment to trust in God, that like this is part of a plan like God has a plan, right? This comment, if Donald Trump had won 2020, we would not know what we know today. If Donald Trump had won the election, and we would have never got to see, people would have went complacent on the Dominion voting system, the election integrity, we would not have fought hard. You're absolutely right. This is a growing pains of hopefully a brighter tomorrow. Absolutely. We are having to go through this. It's not a coincidence that we're here. It's 100% correct. We're having to go through what we're going through so that people can be so easily awakened and bring more people into the fold and more people together. Realizing how bad the Democrat Party is and what their ulterior motives are for replacement migration, all of these, the systematic destruction of the nation. Okay? Yeah. Georgia Patriot, yes, thank you for that comment too. Jennifer Jones-Hilliard says, nothing is more painful than losing a child. You can tell Raffi has lost his zeal for life. He has no emotion at all when confronted. He is hardened and continues on the path of criminality to preserve what is left of his family. In a lot of ways, maybe we should feel sorry for him. And notice I'm not going out and I'm not attacking Kemp and Raffensperger and all this stuff. I mean, obviously, obviously these people are owned in some way, compromised, right? Compromised. It's a scary thing. I mean, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Of course, of course. And he's taking the majority of the fall now, because now we're writing resolutions thanking our governor for signing on to a resolution that should have already been it should have been fixed years ago, which is what I don't understand. Why are we celebrating something that should have never had to be a resolution in the first place? Why are we celebrating this? So, and then the same token, we congratulate our governor, and then we dump back on Raffensperger, right? It's really crazy to me. So, Jennifer says, always go vote, but do something more. And I don't mean play politics. I mean, get involved in the high civic duty of every American. Join us at tacticalcivics.com. Learn it and tell others, let's do this. Absolutely. Get involved. Get involved in Tactical Civics. Get involved in your GOP. There's other groups out there that are doing some of the similar things. There's all kinds of election integrity groups, poll watching. You can get into so many different things where you can be a part and make it a good thing. You, the good person that brings your morals and values, get involved. Start up a podcast. Get on here and just speak the truth. Speak the truth against lies and the evilness and all this, and get involved. Get people involved, okay? That's what we should do. And absolutely, Georgia Patriot, Trump's greatest accomplishment has been causing the people to actually look at what is going on. 100%, man, 100%. Richard Schroeder, always great to see you. Love your show tonight. We're ready for change. Absolutely, Richard. I plan to have you on. I haven't told you yet, but we're going to do another show together pretty soon. So always glad to have you. Thank you, Jennifer. Grassroots are being manipulated and worn down. Yes, they are, and we will continue to prevail. And calmer heads will prevail, okay? She says, we do not have constitutional lawyers in school. Students do not learn what they only learn what they need to pass the bar, maritime law, not common law. Yeah, we can make a whole show out of that for sure. Jordan Maxwell, people, look up Jordan Maxwell. You will not be sorry. Richard Schroeder, don't forget the elephant in the room, our corrupt GOP leaders. Yes, I'm telling you what. I'm not ready to go there. I'm not ready to. We're obviously got to go somewhere with all that. There's so many things that have happened and so many things going on, but it's a head scratcher, Richard. It's a head scratcher to watch what's going on, and especially not be able to sit down and ask questions or have intellectual conversations. I don't like it. But I'm watching. I'm watching everything. Right. Jennifer says, GRP Inc., 0 members. Oh, yeah, we're not going to talk about the Inc. Tonight. There's a lot of information out there if you want to get involved in that. Leslie Smathers, good to have you, says, spot on. It is so sad. It is sad. Richard says 1,000,000%. And Leslie says, agreed. Carrender says this is embarrassment. Richard says they have set race relations. Oh, yeah. Lord, don't get me started there. Are you kidding me? Actually, they've set race relations back terribly, of course, institutionally, right? But Donald Trump is the one that's reaching across lines, and Donald Trump is using these things as advantage when he's going to New Jersey, the Bronx, the Libertarian Party, in the face of people that would be his opposition, and to watch the people that come out, and to watch the people that support him in the America First, and to watch the people that say we're not buying the lies anymore. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing when we start to realize it doesn't matter what color your skin is, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter how different we are. We can all get behind an America First agenda, which, So, yeah, they are continually trying to set back race relations, but we're not having any of that. Just wait till I get my documentary coming up. All right, so here we go. We got a few more comments, y'all. I'm on an hour and 30. I'm gonna have to speed it up. Constitution minus the Unconstitutional Act of 1841 that created a police state in America of maritime law. If Trump was in a common law court, this would have been over months ago. It would have never even went to trial, and J6 political hostages would not have been in jail for more than a week. Whew. I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot to unpack there, Jennifer. Richard Schroeder says, vindicated. Where is Ruby Freeman? From Jennifer, 100%. Yeah. know where Ruby Freeman should be. Yes. Richard says, hung jury and hang judge. Amen. I'm telling you, where's our breaking point, Richard? Where are we at? We're the ones trying to be citizens and use the law. But when we're watching these clown shows, it's very hard to accept this. So Jennifer says, never surrender. I agree 100%. Georgia Patriot. On the other hand, Mershon has set it up perfectly. If the jury acquits, Bragg can get a mistrial and start over. That's true, too. Very true. Good insight there, man. Good insight. One of the penalties for not participating in politics is that you end up being governed by fools who do, by Plato. And I think we're going to end there tonight. So, love all of you guys, man. Thank y'all for putting up with me. I could have went a lot deeper, but I think we all get the point. We're living in upside down world, straight out of Stranger Things. Evil is encroaching us at every turn, and none of this is supposed to make sense. The only thing that does make sense is that you make peace with your brothers and your sisters, and you continue to fight. We get more people involved, and we bring the people that are awakening up into the fold so that we, the people, can take the power back. Accountability, transparency, and to bring back common sense, decency, morals, the rule of law, and God we trust, folks. So thank you, guys. I will give you the intro on the out, and I will see you Saturday night. I believe I have a special guest. Just stay tuned for that. We're working it out now. Other than that, I will see you all later. Thank y'all.